there, future viewers of The Critical Drinker. It's me
Hello.
and MauLer. We're here.
Yay.
We're here to do stuff. As always happens when we do an open bar, there's way too many super chats to try and get through in one night. So, we're doing a catch-up. Not stream, it's a catch-up recording. Is that what we call it?
Because everyone runs these and has different names. It's like you don't want to step on anyone else's. It's like square up, stream up, catch up. Wait, you call these?
Well, we've got a name. We've got a name. It's Last
Call,
Orders,
right? Yeah,
Last
right.
Orders.
Last Call is the American version. Last Orders is British. That's what I've discovered because everyone was telling you to call it Last Call, and I was confused because Last Orders is British, right?
Yeah, and we're British, so we shall do things the correct British way.
We started civilization.
Exactly. Yeah. You guys have
100%.
just fucked it.
You just copied us.
Yeah. But yeah, we've got plenty of super chats to get through, so we should apply our mighty intellects to these and see what we can give people in return, shall we?
Let's do it.
Okay. I think pretty much I got as far as talking about Scotty's Scottish accent from Star Trek. Yeah. The thing that occurred to me with that actually was that he tends to verge into Irish at times. That's the thing that's a little bit off-putting about it. But actually, on the face of it, considering he's Canadian and he's Jimmy Doohan, so I just instinctively love him because Scotty's just awesome. I give him a pass on that. I think he does a pretty good job.
He's allowed to. He gets the
it's fine. Yeah, you can't be mad at Jimmy Doohan. So anyway, the next one that came up, I think, was Gutsy Toad Sage, who said, Jesus versus Predator, call it Prey with an A. I think I'd love to see that movie.
I'd watch it.
Would Jesus just keep healing himself? Would it just be an eternal standoff? The Predator keeps blasting away at him and he's just
well, if he's chasing Jesus and Jesus runs into the ocean, what's Predator going to do?
That's true, yeah. Do you think Jesus could cast lightning bolts at it or something? I don't know. I'm not quite sure the extent of his powers.
Turn the water in the Predator to wine, that would probably kill him in his body.
I think so, yeah. Well, it would be awesome from my point of view to have wine for blood, but probably for a Predator it wouldn't be good.
Yeah, for you it would obviously work, but not for a Predator.
You try and do it to me, I'd be like, yes, bring it on, Jesus. Stephen Bobo says, hi, Critical Drinker and panel. Just popped in to tell you that today, which is when he did send this, the 11th of August, is Cloud Strife's birthday. I didn't actually know that.
I didn't know that.
So yeah, it was his birthday when we did that live stream, which is kind of cool. GameSense says, Drinker, if you could pull up Predator Hunting Grounds Dutch 2025 image online quickly and just look at him, Arnold voiced his character in the game. I should probably do that, actually. Shall we do that?
Sorry?
So, Predator Hunting Grounds, Arnold apparently voiced Dutch in it. Let's see if I bring it up and we can make a judgment. Right, okay, so that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
Let me see. Shall I...
I've never understood how you'll return to Terminator again and again and again, but never Predator.
I know. I think when they wanted to do the next Predator, like Predator 2, they did offer him a small part in it. But it was still going to be, kind of Danny Glover's character, and he was just like, nah, I'm not interested in doing that. And probably felt like the script wasn't that great, but I would have loved to have seen a Predator 3 where Dutch and Harrigan joined forces to take on, an army of predators or something like that.
Yeah, and it's not hard to do. You just have a predator turns up somewhere, and then enough has been done now so that the government are vaguely aware, and they bring those two in, and they're like, "We need your help. You guys have actually fought this thing before."
Yeah, absolutely. It would have, at some point, mid-90s kind of thing.
Oh yeah,
both still relatively young, because you've still got the government unit that was hunting for the Predator, and quite a few of them obviously got killed, but there were still some left. Presumably, they would have been involved as well.
Well, that's what Predator 2 has done, is made it so that the government is very aware of Predator, so we can use that,
I wanted to see the Jamaican voodoo posse come back as well and have another crack at it.
Revenge.
Yeah. Fucking voodoo magic, man. Declan Lyons says, I want an Alien versus Predator reboot that doesn't have any humans in it. I want to see a ceremonial warrior culture dealing with their deadliest prey on exotic planets in far-flung galaxies. So basically told from the Predator's point of view. That'd be an interesting one.
Yeah.
I do like the idea of like the
enough,
original Predator movie told from the Predator's point of view. Like, I'm just trying to do my job here. This is my first hunt. Why are these guys so cool?
Thoughts I had was like, because people always talk about going in the past. Like, what if you did send a predator goes to a planet that's just hyper futuristic and actually incredibly difficult to kill anything there, and it's all from his POV. He's just trying to hunt for sport successfully, but he can't even kill like some of the most basic stuff there because it's so advanced.
It would be like the Predator version of Elden Ring or something.
Yeah,
you've got to level up. I don't know. I think your problem would be obviously you can't have realistic Predator dialogue, so it would have to all be, I don't know, subtitled or something.
Which feels like we're never gonna be like, if they saw a screenplay like that, they're like, there's like 3 lines in the whole movie. What the fuck? It's like, well,
yeah,
take a chance.
It's a shame, right? Do interesting things. Combo Breaker said, "Az sounded like a warped record." I thought Az was fantastic.
He was considering how much he drank, he was doing great.
For a guy who was down in those White Russians, like he somehow got more sober as the stream went on.
I actually said in the EFAP stream about the film that it was more so Az's continuous shitting on the main character that made me really think about it more so and changed my mind on it. Because I hadn't even thought about on my first run through, you know, when she's like annoyed that he killed the mountain lion and everyone in the tribe's celebrating except her. She's just like a fucking stick in the mud. I remember first time around, I was just like, yeah, you know, she's sad that she didn't get to be involved. And then I had like, you know, I was just like, that's bullshit. She should be happy. Her brother did amazing. He saved her life.
I actually had a line about that I took out of my review because I thought I'm shitting on this movie too much for something that's generally like a positive review. But it was literally like that comment on the fact that she seems really ungrateful in that moment, and it's like, wow, how to make me not like your main character? You know, when she's had her life saved and everything.
If someone was like confused, it's like it was fair that she could feel this way. I would just recommend the writer. I'd tell them like, dude, you're gonna make people really struggle to connect with this character. She's just gonna be a bitch all the time. That's just basic stuff. You can make her a bitch all the time if you want to. But I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah. Kevin O'Neill says what would have been great was an Alien versus Predator movie with no humans, therefore no stupid dialogue, 100% visual storytelling. It would have been beautiful and brutal. Kind of goes back to what we were just talking about there a minute ago. I think it would be a really interesting experience, like as a creative project. I just think general audiences would be turned the fuck off it. I just thought they would be able to really get into it.
It's unbelievable to me that they had a full licensed and full budgeted AVP project and they handed it to Paul W.S. Anderson. That's insane.
This is in the wake of the Resident Evil movies as well.
I guess they were like, we want to make money. And you know what? Maybe that was a good idea at that time because he was making shit tons. Was he making shit tons? I think he had a good turnover with Resident Evil, right?
I mean, they were cost effective in the sense that they were pretty cheap to produce. And I think they made a lot of money internationally. I think Americans didn't give a fuck about them. But internationally, they did fairly well. And
like, what a horrible creative decision.
Yeah.
The crazy thing is, his one is the better of the two. So.
I know, that's the weird thing. But just imagine Alien versus Predator in the hands of James Cameron or someone like that, who actually can stage really good action scenes. Like, that would have been something special.
Oh, well.
There we go. Vitrace says, confirmed Az is a Sith as he is dealing in absolutes. He did. He loved the absolute vodka. Like, I prefer Russian standard myself if I'm having a White Russian, but you know, any port in a storm and all that.
Yeah, that's pretty much my position on that one.
XSL says Lofty Pixels keeps getting ganged up on Tuesday main event and Flashcast for his opinions. Please bring him on stream and EFAP so you can do the same. What are they saying about him? Like,
I don't know anything about Lofty Pixels. The only thing I knew, since they told me, was that he was defending Multiverse of Madness quite a bit when that came out. I think he's like known for having opinions that go against the grain. Let's say that.
Fair dues. Everyone's entitled to it. Combo Breaker says, as his blood could be used as communion wine at this point. Yeah, he was definitely there at the beginning. I was kind of worried when he first came on stream and he could barely string 2 words together. But yeah, then he just he got into the swing of things and he was all good. Weston487 said, did anyone else go years without knowing the Aliens 2 on Earth existed? What?
Sorry? Aliens 2 on Earth existed?
Yeah. That's literally the text of it. I don't know what that means exactly.
Well, all right.
Yeah, sorry, man. John says, as I do believe the correct quantity for a balanced diet is a drink in both hands. Sound advice, and I support it 100%. The Field says, vodka doesn't have vintages, you plebs. Potatoes don't even grow on vines. That's very true.
That's what makes the joke funnier.
Yeah. Charles Cauldron says, watched Cobra Kai on your recommendation and loved it. Good one. I was curious, though. Sorry, I keep glancing outside because we're in the middle of a thunderstorm here, and every so often it's just like fucking flashes of lightning. It's like proper Resident Evil.
Here.
Yeah.
I'll take a thunderstorm. Give me.
Yeah, well, it's pissing with rain as well, so yeah. Hopefully that'll break. Man, it's been boiling the past few days. So he says, I was curious, though. You seemed to be the only review where I trust who didn't think it floundered in season 2 and 3, too much focus on the kids. Did you notice a quality dip? Yeah, I mentioned that. So I think my take on it was that it kind of dropped off slightly in season 2 because they introduced a lot of new young characters and kind of drowned out the older ones who were actually the more interesting. But by season 3, I think it picked back up again, and so I was happy enough with it. There was a better focus on the older characters. So yeah, overall, pretty solid, I would say. Mr. Left Turn says, I just want to say thanks to everyone here for being such an analytical inspiration. I'm about to finish my first hour-plus long video, and it's thanks to you lot I was able to push myself. I think you should be thanking MauLer for that one. I don't do long man videos.
I was about to say, it's a nice short video he's making there. Good stuff.
Yeah. That'll do as an intro, I suppose, for you.
Yeah, no, good stuff. I'm glad. It's great to hear if we ever inspire anybody to make some breakdowns and stuff.
Yeah. No, it's always good to hear people that have gotten into film criticism and stuff, because some of the ones that have contacted me, they've been genuinely great. Like I saw a really good breakdown of Arcane and why it worked and stuff, and it was again about an hour long. The guy had obviously put a ton of work into it for a channel that only had a few hundred subscribers. Knowing it probably wasn't going to get seen by that many people, but I always think that's pretty admirable when people really slave away on stuff like that.
I try and let people know, it was, I think, my 4th bigger series was the one that finally got more than 50 views.
Yeah.
It's like, hang in there, keep going, you'll be all right.
Gibbering Gibbons says, this is exclusively for treats for the critical, not Bucky or Mess. Aw, but that's what she likes. Thanks, man. Fucker Wolf says, the perfect team. Keep the flag high, you guys. Cheers. Thank you very much, my friend. The Royal Wee says, Drinker, do you make a habit to defend the French? Not if I can avoid it, no. I just felt compelled to in this case because they got a bit of a shit deal, really, in this movie.
Hard done by a bit, yeah.
Yeah. Yo-Yo says, Drinker, can you put on your shameless shill persona to say some good things about Rings of Power? As you look drunk, but I guess that's the point. So, okay. If I was to try and, shill for Rings of Power, okay, how can I approach this? Right. Rings of Power looks fantastic because it's a faithful adaptation of source material which doesn't actually exist, but I'm sure Amazon made it up with Tolkien in mind. Visually, it looks excellent. They've clearly made fantastic use of volume screens and CGI. So looks solid as a rock. Got huge amounts of diversity, which is fantastic. And that's what I base all my appreciation of media properties on. And yeah, it had a nice title sequence with the molten metal, so that really made me happy. So that I can tell that Rings of Power is going to be a big success worldwide.
I think the best thing is that it's bringing modern sensibilities to an old franchise. You know,
That's it, yeah. Because as we all know, MauLer, any fantasy product should always reflect the world that we live in today.
dude, I hate watching Lord of the Rings these days because I'm like, what? None of this makes any sense. I don't even. Where's like all of the stuff that I'm familiar with? Where's Trump? Where is he?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you got Sauron, so he's in the
Close
minds
enough.
of like everyone,
Yeah, fire is
It's
like
just,
orange, right? So it
yeah, the
works.
Balrog. You could say that
Mm.
he's a metaphor for Trumpism. I would say. Malik P says so much to say, but it's a 3 out of 10. Naru is a psycho and got her broke, and no way in hell did she yank down a predator that overhead pressed a bear. I mean, that was yeah. If
Dude,
you're
we
strong
were
enough to bench press a bear, then 100-pound human is not gonna do much damage to you. I don't think.
we went through the final fight like frame by frame for EFAB, and chat were just losing their minds, and I was like, yeah, every part of it is so lame. I wonder if that last fight was really good, if that would have made a significant difference, because it's such a sour taste after you see that.
I would have. Yeah, I could have bought into more if I don't know. She maybe got pressed a bit harder on it. That she actually took a bit of damage and looked like she was struggling, because back to characters like Dutch and Harrigan, like they were like beaten to within an inch of their lives and could barely stand up by the end because the predator
Yeah.
took so much out of them, and they had to use everything in the tank to take it down. But she just she
So
nailed
she's
that
just
thing.
she's doing great throughout the whole thing. It would have been neat to like maybe even have an arm get chopped off of hers instead of having the predator chop his own fucking arm off.
Yeah, so dumb. Yeah, there's a lot of ways they could have made that work better, but man, it just came across as just really easy for her.
I think it became clear that they weren't even trying to hold back on being like, this predator is such an idiot when he did the little move with his face right before he's killed. Where he goes, what?
Yeah, I was like, what? Yeah.
It's like, ugh. All right then. If you wanted to make him that stupid, that's fine. That's your choice.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, right? Is this the first Predator in the movie that doesn't have a Predator self-destruct?
Yeah, because they self-destruct in AVP 1, AVP 2, Predator 1, Predator 2. Predators, I guess it doesn't matter because they're on the Predator planet, or a Predator planet, whatever.
Yeah.
The Predator doesn't explode, does he?
No, I suppose he gets exploded by by grenades or something. So yeah, I suppose the Predator doesn't have an actual self-destruct device that's used. So I'll give them that.
I still can't get over the people who are like, this film fucks with the lore of AVP. It's just like, I don't know that we should care. Like,
is there any fucks given about that? Next one is Jubs McGee says the main character is unlikable purely from her motivations. It's not for her tribe, for her family, self-centered. That's kind of true, yeah. She just wants to hunt. She just wants to kill things.
I think that was the big opportunity they missed, was to have her realize, like, as she have her arc be, I shouldn't be a good hunter, or at least capable of surviving, just because people said I couldn't. I should be doing it because it's good for me, my tribe, my family.
Yeah,
like that's surely the arc. And then by the end of the film, she's a survivalist, but look what she's lost.
Yeah,
that should have been it, but they just, I don't know, man. They went a different route of, wow, look how awesome she is by the end.
That smile at the end, this girl might actually be a psychopath. It's like you've basically seen all the able-bodied men in your tribe get massacred and chopped into mincemeat, including your own brother. But you're just happy because you become a hunter now. Like, wow, that's
Which again,
that's some dodgy stuff.
I wonder about the writer. I'd be like, you do know how that comes across, right? You get it? Like, people are gonna be like, oh, and I wonder what they'd say. Like, that's not
imagine imagine right at the end of Predator when Dutch is there, and like if he just like smiled or been laughing or sort of like, yeah, I kicked that Predator's ass.
I'm so awesome.
Yeah.
So I mean, Predator as a movie, it knew what it was doing. I think a lot of people would even have accepted him at the end, being like, "Yeah, I kicked its ass," and we ignore all the deaths. But no, they chose something way more suitable.
Roger Youngblood says they never explained the red lightning, did they? Or did I miss it? She noticed it, but they never went back to it. Yes, that was when she was about to kill the cat, and she's like, standing up on the tree branches. She gets distracted by like lightning or
That
flashes of stuff off in the distance, but it's not really explain what's going on there.
that actually frustrated me in retrospect when we were going through it in super slow motion, if you will, because I was like, a mountain lion that just killed a friend of yours is in your face, roaring at you, and you get distracted by something in the very far distance. I don't think so. And the other thing that annoys me about that is that they had that happen in order to justify why she fucks up there, when I think what we should have seen is her fuck up because she just wasn't capable of defeating the lion. Not because she got distracted by some lightning.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree. And that was pretty much my exact thought process. It's like, you couldn't just allow her to fuck something up. You had to give some excuse. This crazy outside factor that no one could have predicted came in, and that's what stopped her from being awesome. It's like, just give your character a real flaw. Like, let her just make a legit mistake.
Yeah.
It would have been fine. We wouldn't have hated her for it. We would have liked her more, probably.
As for what the red lightning is, we assume maybe it's him fighting the French. Maybe, don't know.
Could be, yeah, or killing other things. Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. David Wolfgang says, "You guys are absolute legends. Specifically, critical drinker. You're a prince." Yes, but who's the king? That's what
I was going to say. Yeah.
OMG Puppies said, "Any opinions about the Sandman series? I have absolutely none whatsoever because I haven't seen a single frame of it, and I don't know anything about it."
I've been told Charles Dance in the first episode, so I might watch that.
That's enough to get you involved.
Yeah,
Charles Dance is there. I'm on.
People have been saying he was great in the first episode. I was like, oh, I wish he was. Look, Draker, he's getting on. All right, I want him to get more roles before we don't get to see anything else from him.
I know. The thing is, he keeps. Maybe the Sandman's awesome, but holy shit! Like, a guy of his caliber, he chooses a lot of really shit films.
Dude, he legit has never topped Tywin, since Tywin. And Tywin's the reason he's getting all these different jobs, but they keep giving him, everyone wants... It's like typecast, or rather, the casting director's like, we have this general guy who says, go over there to lots of men. Who should we cast for? It's like, what about that old dude who's, in an authoritative position? People like, oh yeah, we'll grab him.
Yeah.
It's never a character. And to be fair, it's not like I've scrolled through every single thing he's made since Game of Thrones. It's just there's been nothing mainstream. Every time he pops up something mainstream, it's a lame role.
Yeah, I just keep thinking about him in Godzilla King of the Monsters, and I just thought, wow, you couldn't have wasted an actor like him worse than what you did there.
Putting Charles Dance into a Godzilla fucking movie, and it's like, oh sweet, what are you gonna do with him? He's gonna say, all of you go over there. Yes, we'll attack here.
I can only assume he just really wanted an extra Olympic-sized swimming pool for his house. He's just like, fuck it, I'll do this shit movie.
Did we ever talk about what he said about his experience with filming Godzilla King of the Monsters?
No.
It's one of my favorite quotes about anything ever. So they asked him, how was it? What was the experience like? What? He went, well, the catering was really good. Just yeah, that's yeah, all right.
It reminds me of Michael Caine when he was asked about being in Jaws 3 or something, garbage movie, and he was just no, I've never seen it, but I've heard it's awful. But I have seen the house it paid for, and it's lovely. That was a perfect answer.
Yeah.
Ty Reamers says, a wolf hurts the predator, but he also survives a gunshot to the head. That was baffling. That really was.
I think with something like that, you can interpret that the wolf didn't do much to him at all. It's more so just looked bad. It's very, what do you call it? It's a flesh wound, right? Is what you call it when...
It really, like, for something the size of a predator, it can't do nip at his ankles. But it's just the fact that it even manages to make contact. Like, you think the predator would just react so quickly, it would just put a, blaster bolt through its head or something, spike it with its wrist blades.
I think it's especially weird that they show that it stabs the snake through the head mid pounce. It's like, whoa. And then it shows him like fumble with the wolf. It's like, oh, okay. I mean, the wolf is slower than the snake, just saying, with the.
Just a lot of that, like making a lot of really dumb mistakes, like walking into traps and stuff. And it's like, this predator seems kind of stupid.
Definitely, dude. By that last fight, he becomes a complete moron, which is not what we want to see. We want to see a smart person defeat a smart person by outwitting them.
Yeah. I love that scene in the first Predator when Dutch has lured it underneath the spike things. Come on, kill me! And you just see the Predator like looking at it and like kind of touching the spikes. And you can see the exact thought process, and then it just gets up and walks around it. It's like, it's just great.
Fucking excellent. And Artie's expression, I swear to God, like, we talk about how he's great for Terminator because it's like an emotionless role, but he's pretty good in Predator. Like, I don't know, maybe.
I guess probably the best performance he gives in his career, or at least in that
he's
sort
trying,
of era.
He's trying to emote.
Yeah. Combo Breaker says the Predator should have found some whiskey and drunk off the pain like soldiers did back in the day. Yeah, I like that strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Wong says it sucks that she doesn't have post-battle fatigue and a sense of loss like the war-laden Dutch has seen and emotionally scarred by the ordeal. Yeah, exactly like we said.
Yeah, you know what's crazy is when we were reviewing it, because these are just, there's some scenes where you start talking about them more and more, and then you start feeling like, what the fuck was going on there, actually? When the tribe bump into her after the bear thing, and she is like soaking wet, she's lost her dog, she's lost like some of her equipment, and then and they're like, hey, what happened? And she's like, I found it, I saw it, and they're like, oh, okay, where are you going? And she's like, well, I found it, so I'm gonna go try and find it again. And it's like, no reasonable human ever would do that. You were terrified of the thing it just killed. You need to regroup. You need to tell everybody what you've discovered, like down to every last detail. And of course, she's just like, nah, I'm gonna go kill it, la la la. And then they have to like take her, and they have a fight and stuff. And what's crazy is like, me, Rags, and freaking Metal, and we had Dagger Shadow on there. We were just talking about. Okay, we were just talking about
someone's pissed off outside.
Talking about how crazy it is that this is all happening, but I guess they have no choice. It's like they're not going to let it. The whole reason they've come out there is to save it, right? So, yeah, I guess they're going to have to knock her out, or do whatever to take her back. Because imagine they went back to the brother, like, oh yeah, we found her, but fuck it, she wanted to keep hunting, so we just let her go. So it's like they haven't really got much of a choice. Red Letter Media's review, Jay was like, it's fucking crazy. They just go nuts on her for no reason. And I was like, it's not no reason. She's the crazy one. Like,
yeah, like from her point of view, she must be spouting absolute nonsense. Like, yeah, there's this magical creature that can go invisible, and then it just bench pressed a bear, and I'm terrified of it, but I'm going to kill it. It's like, yeah, she's clearly lost her mind. She needs to,
we were talking about how it's crazy enough that she's going to try and kill a deer with her hand axe tomahawk thing. Like, one hit from that is not going to do a lot to a deer. You're going to take a lot more than that. A grizzly bear, I don't even know that you'd be able to. A predator, come on. Like, come on.
I mentioned this during the stream as well. It's like, from the point of view of like a hunter-gatherer society that doesn't understand technology or anything, like something like the predator is going to seem like a demon or a spirit or even a god. You wouldn't even like really have a concept of killing it. You'd be like, oh my god, I just need to like run away from this fucking thing as far as I can possibly go. It would seem like magic from your point of view. Like, you would never think that you could take this on. Indie G said, Drunkler, a while back you said you'd love to make an 80s style action movie. Who do you cast as the muscle-bound hero and his arm candy? I'm gonna pick my go-to guy for everything. It's got to be Henry Cavill. Yeah. He's the biggest dude we've got right now. Who could be the heroine?
Chris Hemsworth would be another one I'd consider. I feel like he'd be great for it too, just in general. His like attitude. I really want better roles for that guy. He seems like a really cool dude.
Yeah, it's time to move beyond Thor. Like I think that's served its purpose, but like yeah, clearly he's in action. I think he's doing another Extraction movie,
Yeah, yeah.
which is it's nice, but it's not exactly like setting the world on fire in terms of box office or anything. It's just
No.
like John Wick 1 basically
You know,
sort of level.
in a sense, Prey and The Predator are both weird kind of experiments for the Predator franchise. And I'm just sitting here like, can we get ours now? As in, not us making it. I mean, give us the one where you get someone like Chris Hemsworth, Henry Cavill, and a bunch of other muscle-bound dudes into a they're all mercenaries and they're sent maybe to like a ship in the middle of the ocean because it's got some intel on it, and they clear the whole thing out. But then there's a predator on the ship. Just something like that. And it could be relatively simple, follow similar beats as the original. Just give us that. I just want to see, I'm not saying it would actually be successful in the box office. I don't know for sure. But I mean, you're experimenting with this nonsense. So, like, why not give us that? Just give it a shot. I don't know.
I guess they're just like, yeah, we don't want to just try and recycle the same premise as the first movie.
Why not?
Well, I know this is it. Like, I would be perfectly happy, and probably a lot of fans of like just 80s action films would be more than happy to see stuff like this. But yeah, you've always got these like artists and writers who want to just put their own stamp on it. They have to make it their own thing.
I'd
Kind
want
of like
to.
Rings of Power.
I'd want to have fun to the point of having like an older guy on the team. Maybe he's in his, I don't know, early 40s to late 40s, and he's like, this is my last mission. I'm going to my wife. Can't wait. Just you play it up that he's got like the most emotional and best reason to get home and keep baiting his death. So just have like little funny tongue-in-cheek stuff happening throughout the movie as well. Have some fun, knowing that maybe it'll flop. Who cares? The Predator franchise is the same as the Alien and the Terminator one. We're just running out random shit at this point and hoping.
Yeah, it's just or have like the Expendables versus the Predator or something.
Yeah, why not?
You can do it. Don Cheeky said, listening to Shad's rants about archery in general, one of the things you learn about bows for the very first time is how hard they are to bloody shoot straight, not girl weapons. I mean, I suppose it depends on the size of it and how much like draw strength it's got.
There's obviously familiarity, her upper body strength. It's not like she looked like she had a lot or anything. I'm just saying, like, yeah, there's going to be all kinds of variables. It's true.
I think what it comes down to is like how long you can hold it at full draw for. Like, that's the real kind of that's where it takes real strength. But like shoot, like I'm sure she could do it. Automata says, I bet on the next film being Terminators with As. It's a good bet, I would say. Indy G says, Drunkard, who does Hollywood cast as Ryan Drake, the gender and race swap version of your hero? Yeah.
Wouldn't even have to change the first name.
I want to have Queen Latifah play Ryan Drake.
Hell
I think
yeah.
that'd be fantastic. Papa Piker says, if he bleeds, we can kill it. It became kind of redundant after almost 30 pints of predator blood were shed.
Yeah,
that's true, actually.
That was the thing, by the way. We talked about that line when I was trying to figure out why, because I think I remember you saying there was no reason he would have said that because he hadn't even seen it bleed, right?
As far as I'm aware, yeah. Were they discussing that it was a god or something?
Yeah, we were trying to think of any time it would work. The only thing we could come up with is if you remember when she was captured, he walks up to her and says, like, he's holding a leaf with its blood on it, and he's asking for information on it. Presumably, he would have done that with Tabe as well, because they captured him. Who would have asked him for information and showed that it could bleed. So I guess that's probably where he got that from. But what a weird payoff to not show us him recognizing it's bleeding before saying if it bleeds, we can kill it. You'd think they'd do that.
It fits so neatly into the original movie, and it just it was just a perfect line for that moment. It's like they had wasted so much ammo just firing into the jungle, thought they'd hit nothing. They were fighting this like unknown enemy, and that's when Anna comes in and explains like its blood was on the leaves, so it does bleed. And then you just get that great like comeback from Dutch. So if it bleeds, we can kill it. Perfect.
It's from an era where any well-written line just becomes a golden line that everyone references forever. You just don't have that much anymore. But you're right. It's just a line, and it makes sense. But it's evolved into a line where people are like, I gotta have it in my movie too. It reminds me of I told people now, by the way, I'm working on the Multiverse of Madness video, so I've recently, because they're all different sections, they're being done in different ways, but like, you know, the part where Carter says, I can do this all day. It's such a like, you're doing the thing. You just
Yeah.
you're trying to use a line for its punch, but you have no idea why it had the punch in the first place. It wasn't just the line itself existing. It's the context.
It tells you it's the whole ethos of like Steve Rogers as a character.
Exactly.
You know, and it has so much impact every time he does it because that's who he is. Like he would get up and fight you again rather than just stay down. It's great. No,
You
even
know,
knowing he's going to lose.
and they weren't going to have him say, I can do this all day and then kill him. That was never something they were going to do. And they literally do that with it.
Yeah. Oh, so shit. The other thing I was going to say as well is like, what I love is lines of dialogue that are just really concise and efficient, right? And this again is a good way to compare these two movies because in the original Predator, there's a moment where it's just down to Dutch, Anna, and I think he's heavily wounded, and they're kind of hiking through the jungle. Yeah. And Poncho drops his weapon. Anna tries to pick it up, and Dutch is like, "No, leave it. It didn't kill you because you were unarmed. No sport." That's it. It's like 2 or 3 sentences, really short. Then the comparison line in Prey is like this really clunky, drawn out bit of dialogue from Naru, and she's like, "Yeah, you know, I was trapped in a bear trap thing, and it came right up to me, and it was stood right over me, and it could have killed me at any point, but it didn't because it didn't see me." And it's like 5 times as long, and it just
absolutely correct. Yeah,
just to convey the same thing.
What's great about the no sport line is that he might not even be correct, but everything matches up. So we, as the audience, are right with him. We're like, oh, yeah, that's probably fucking true, actually. Yeah. Like, we don't. But hers sounds like it's a Wikipedia entry.
Like, yeah. I'm gonna give you the entire psychology of the Predators. It's like, God, it's just like, yeah, like I say, there's just a lot to be said for really like efficient dialogue.
Yeah, because when he first finds that Hawkins has been killed and she's fine, he's like, he's been thinking about that ever since then. It's like, why did that happen? Like, it's not her friend. It's like, what's going on? We could have had more great movies like that, but we never did.
Yeah, we were spoiled. Like you've said before, we were spoiled back when we were kids. Kartik Iyer says, Drinker reviewing The Boys Season 3 and Better Call Saul. Might do The Boys. I'm trying to summon up the enthusiasm to watch it.
I was going to say, you still haven't started it, yeah? Like,
I
damn.
just don't care.
They're already filming Season 4. You got to hurry up.
I know. I feel like now it's almost pointless because it's like, well, everyone's seen it and formed their opinions about it. So like,
the general sentiment is that it was fine. The ending was terrible. So have fun if you want to watch that. Like,
great.
How enthusiastic are you gonna get now, knowing that?
Better Call Saul, I was a little bit put off by it, and I've talked about this before, where it's like, watched the first couple of episodes, found it kind of slow going, and spoke to a friend of mine who was a big fan of the show, and he's like, yeah, wait until about season 2 or 3, that's when it really starts to pick up pace. And I just thought, that's a lot of episodes to get through. It's not very good.
I feel like season 1 had the most highest pacing, to be honest with you. I've seen the whole thing. There's only 1 episode left coming out, I want to say tomorrow, I'm not sure. But people are hype about it. It's just that, wait, so where are you on it? Have you not watched any of it?
Not really, no. So I'd have to start from the beginning and watch all. I mean, I have heard that like it was kind of a starter, and then it's gradually gotten itself up to a level where it's like as good as Breaking Bad was.
I don't feel that way, but I know that plenty of people think it might even be better. That's totally fair. That is a bit of an awkward situation for you, though. You can't just jump into 6 seasons. That's not something you can just casually do.
No, that's the problem. It's like if you want to watch, if you want me to watch a film, it's like, okay, fine. That's like 2 hours out of my life. Like 6 seasons worth of TV is a pretty big time investment.
That's huge. Yeah.
I don't know, man. David Wolfgang says, or at least have her victory something that it feels like it meant something to her. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Soy Boy also says 20 minutes into 3 shots of her failing and at killing a rabbit. 45 minutes later, she dominates and kills 5 large, heavy Frenchmen. And the day before, she was maimed by a trap. She doesn't even have a limp. Yeah, that's a bit of an odd one as well. The traps. They
I
have
think
really...
that was some having your cake and eating it shit from the writer. They wanted the payoff of the predator sparing her because she's in a trap, but they also don't want it to limp. They wanted to have working legs. So how do you solve that problem as a writer? I see that's how I see a lot of these movies. They're just writers who can't be asked to solve their problems with talent. They just give up. They just go, fuck it. She's fine. Just shut up.
No one will care. It'll do. Yeah, I think that's the ethos of writing a lot of scripts now. Is like that'll do.
Exactly. Yeah. Because a lot of it is problem solving. You set your stage and then you want to get to your payoffs, and it's like, yeah, well, you can't because this is in the way, or this is in the way, or this isn't. You're like, how do you account for that? And you have to work. You have to redraft.
Yeah, and it's like we said before as well. That whole fight scene against the French trappers, where she fights and kills probably 5 or 6 of them in sequence.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's impressive from just a cinematography point of view, because I think it's done in just one long take. Obviously took quite a bit of choreography, but none of us could really buy into it, because it's like, yeah, like put someone of her size and build up against 5 armed men. She's going to be dead within like 20 seconds. Like, it's not even a contest.
It seemed obvious to me that instead of, because it feels to me like it was inspired almost by John Wick or something, that they wanted to have her be overtly killing them all, almost with all of them activated at the same time, which is like, no. Have a stealth kill one, then move around to the other side of the camp while that one's in, like fucking Batman games where someone goes, "Hey, what happened here? Oh my God, Larry is dead." And then she kills
not Larry.
The other guy. Then when see, there's 4 men, and the third one, when she's trying to stealth kill him, she just manages to do it, but the 4th guy sees her and starts running at her, and so now this is stressful because, like, can she take on one of these guys, just one-on-one? Because I don't think it should have been easy for her to kill all 4 of them. These guys are much more equipped to, I think, attack and kill her than she is to kill them. She's not even a good hunter, let alone a good warrior.
Yeah, like there's nothing in the film really to suggest that she's trained in combat against humans. I mean, you get that scene where she fights the Comanche guy, but that's not part of her training. That's just like she's suddenly in a scrap with him, and the script says that she has to beat him, so she kind of does. But it doesn't have any weight to it. David Wolfgang also says, "I'm not normally about killing animals, but she could have had some form of sacrifice that meant something. It's like the dog had more emotional weight than the brother." That dog, I mean, it's good that it survived. It gave a good performance.
That dog's hilarious. It was only at the EFAB that we were starting to really plan out where he is at all times. It's like the bear attack happens and he just disappears. And then we see him again. He's just captured by the French. It's like, oh, okay. She releases him. And then next, when the Predator shows up, he's just gone again. And then when the Predator and her, like, she runs off and the brother dies, the dog just shows up again.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, what the fuck is it doing? It's literally going invisible every once in a while.
It's like if this was a video game and you could, view outside the cutscene area, it would have just gone off to like a place and just waited, just out of shot or something. Like, wait till my cue. But I think it's weird as well that like a French trapper actually took the time to try and kill it. Like, if all this shit was going on and there was like this crazy alien thing murdering your comrades, I would just be out of there. I wouldn't give a shit about the dog. I'm not going to take time to kill it. That's for sure. It's such a weird moment.
A lot of people were saying it was a mercy kill because they didn't want the dog to starve or something.
That's bullshit.
I didn't see the subtitles for it, so I don't know what they say. But yeah, I don't know. It seemed a little bit like, we're so evil, we're going to kill the dog. It's like,
that's what it is. It's like, take revenge, make her feel bad, kill the dog. Combo Breaker says, personally, I think it's a strong narrative choice that the villagers do end up getting annihilated by the predators eventually. I think that was what we were saying about. They come back, kill everyone, and take the pistol. Thunderstorm says, the worst thing about the communist propaganda film isn't the propaganda, it's the horrible writing and lack of talent. Fair enough. Boar Legion says, the skull scene at the end reminds me of a certain Dances with Sand People episode. Hey, long drinks are on me, gents. Cheers. Jackson Davis might be the hundreds hours of Horizon games watching Aloy be a vindictive, unfeeling girl boss, but Naru was only mildly annoying in a couple. Holy fuck. That was there was a lightning strike outside that was
Dude,
really
I could
fucking
see it.
close.
It's a little like white flash in the background. Your camera froze.
I may suddenly blink out of existence. So if that's the case, think well of me. I died doing what I love. Super chats. Guardian Fortress says, "Hail men of the toxic brood." Yeah, we were extremely toxic that night, so all good. David Wolfgang, better yet, the Predator comes back and goes against Steve Irwin, the crocodile hunter, at his peak. That would be a half right there. Vampires and Cigarettes said, the Predators design. The doggos have gotten shit. What's up, guys? Hey. Oh yeah, I've got 2 critical doggos now. Hey,
well, they just both casually decided we're coming in.
Yeah, it's like the lightning's happened. It's like, Dad, we need you. Hey, all right. I'm doing a live stream here. I'm doing like a super chat thing, so just chill, okay? Anyway, Vampires and Cigarettes said the Predator designer has tweeted all his concepts of why the Predator looks and acts like he does. And the director has even more great world building. These guys genuinely care. It's great. That would be interesting to see then in that case.
Dude, it was crazy because with all the discussion about the way the Predator looks, I've seen people very passionately saying like, "No, it looks awesome. No, it lines up with also no, I hate it. No, it's the worst thing ever." Everyone was like, "What's MauLer going to say? What are you going to say?" And I was like, "It's fine. I don't really feel anything about it." It's just like, no, that's the nothing take. It's like I don't have a take on this. Look, if you wanted me to ask which looks better, the original is never going to be beaten. It's one of the coolest movie monster designs ever.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I agree. I think the new version looked a bit shit, really. It was like a low rent version of the original.
I liked his mask, the idea behind it anyway, like the bone mixed with technology. It's like, that's kind of neat.
Yeah. Norwegian Kryptonian says Ezra Miller will reportedly play the next Predator. Lol. Indeed. Mr. Tickle Trunk, Prey should have been about family, the bonds of the tribe, maybe cooperation between the tribe and the French trappers. Yeah, imagine that. You failed at writing when everyone's favorite character is the dog. That's true.
Dogs look pretty cool.
Kevin O'Neill says, post-credit scene for Prey, zoom out to outer space, a bunch of predators watching from their comrade makes stupid decisions and eventually dies. See, this is why we don't let the females hunt.
It'd be funny if predators were legit. Like they'd sent down their retarded one just to see what would happen.
It's like we've been intentionally treating him wrong this whole time. Gears and Games says biggest nitpick of Prey. No one casted for the Comanche looked like they know what a gym is. Linda Hamilton in Terminator 2, I'd buy being able to damage a predator. The soft cast wouldn't damage a balsa tree. That was kind of a thing. Like I guess in that sort of time period, nobody was lifting weights, so you're not going to be like super muscular or anything. But the guys did look a bit weedy.
They didn't look very fit. I think is the word I'd use, and maybe that's harsh or anything, but it's like I would have thought they would look that way for the environment they're in, but maybe not. I don't know. I'm not familiar enough with it, but they looked like regular dudes who maybe work at like Tesco, just put into this like situation. You're like, all right.
James Moore says, could have been Navajo in a desert setting. Women and men had interchangeable roles in that tribe, and we could have seen different predator visions. You could indeed, yeah. Predator hunting in a desert, that would be an interesting setup.
Yeah.
Velocipaster says, in an effort to enjoy some Tolkien again, check out some of the videos by Seed Anirian. Personal favorite is Tolkien reading The Ride of the Rohirrim. Okay. Like narrating his own work. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
David Wolfgang, you guys have seen the fan film Predator versus Batman? No?
I have. It's on YouTube. That's an old video, that is.
Is it good?
It's more of a meme, but sure.
Yeah. Is it entertaining?
Yes. Especially with alcohol.
Vampires and Cigarettes. The first Predator is great. We all love it. But it's also goofy as fuck. I disagree, sir. Comparing the two films is mad. These are the people we want at the helm of this stuff, and I rate them and the effort that they've made. Dry that. I mean, I wouldn't say the first Predator movie is goofy as fuck.
So when
No
people
fucking way.
say it's goofy and their reasoning is, oh, that stupid arm wrestle handshake they have, or when he says stick around, I'd be like, this is your capacity for goofy? Okay. Just like, all right.
It's yeah, clearly not understanding the point of those segments as well. It's to build them up as like just
Absolutely.
stereotypical action men.
Yeah, I don't even need someone to tell me, oh, it's campy. I just like, no, fuck it, it's in character. I can totally believe Dutch would fucking throw a big ass knife into someone, they stab them into the back of a wall, he's gonna stick around. Like, it's like, yeah, I could picture him say that. That's why it means so much that he gets completely stripped down over the course of the film.
Absolutely. Brenton Palmer, who the fuck did she come back to her tribe? All the warriors are dead because of her, and nobody has any questions for her. What the fuck? Love from New Zealand. That is true. Like, they should probably want to know, like, what the hell happened and, like, where is everyone?
No, it doesn't matter. It's fine. She came back, and they immediately do the fucking hunter like thing for her, as opposed to, you know, where are all our sons?
Yeah, yeah. The women should be like wailing with anguish, like that half the tribe have been wiped out. You know.
Nope.
David Wolfgang says she could always get knocked up, and then after a scan, he would let her go, like in the first movie. That was actually the second movie, which was an interesting idea. Actually, it was never really revisited, but yeah, after the subway fight scene, Leona, like she's pregnant, and yeah, the
I
Predator
actually
sees
watched it
that.
with Rags and Fringy recently, and Rags said, Predator is pro-life. Like, yeah, he's not into abortion. Though, yeah, I think that's a reasonable extension that the Predator would probably argue, like, that life hasn't made a choice and is defenseless. I don't want to end it just because you've decided to attack me. But it would be interesting to see how far you could push that for Predator. See what other limits it has in terms of its honor code. I feel like different Predators will have different honor codes too.
Yeah, well, we know that there's apparently different like clans and factions within the Predator society. So yeah, I can totally get that they work in different ways. But yeah, like I know like hunters generally won't kill deer or whatever it is they're going after if they're pregnant, or very obviously pregnant, because it's like it's a shit thing to do, and it's like there's better things to hunt than that. So I can totally get that the predators wouldn't do that either. Carrier, a Raccoon City story, says, "What's up, Drinker and Co? Nice to hear your thoughts on Carrier were enjoyable." Yeah, this guy's done a great piece of work where he's put together basically a Resident Evil story set in Raccoon City just before the outbreak, but it's done in the style of like a kind of Max Payne graphic novel detective noir thing, which is really cool. It says, "Good meeting up with you in Tampa. Dark Harvest has been a hell of a read so far." Awesome, man. Thank you very much. I'm glad you've enjoyed it, and yeah, keep up the great work with your sort of Raccoon City story stuff. It's great stuff, man. A. Campbell says, "Sorry to say this, but the character design of the Predator made it look like it had Down syndrome." It did a little bit.
I can understand that. Yeah, I can understand.
There was quite a large sort of forehead situation going on. Nathan Cassidy says, "People defend Prey the same way they defend The Mandalorian. The last few entries have been so bad that an okay entry is like finding a gold coin." That is pretty true. Like,
I hand on heart admitted that I enjoyed this probably more than I ever would have if not for the Predator having existed. If the Predator never happened, I wouldn't have liked Prey as much as I did.
Yeah. Just imagine if you'd gone from the original Predator movie to then this, like if nothing else had happened in between.
Oh, dude. I would have nerd rage, probably. Yeah. I would have been like, you fucked up everything, because that's just how it works. It's all relative. If I had a Terminator movie where the main characters simply run away from a Terminator trying to kill them, and they kill it in the end, and it doesn't have anything to do with John Connor or anything else, it's just like, I don't know, remember like Terminator 3 went with lieutenants or whatever? That was like the idea at first.
Yeah.
That's a better way to put it. Terminator 1 and 2 come out, then Genesis and Dark Fate, and then Terminator 3. I would have been like, Terminator 3 is not so bad. It's fine. Like, it's fine.
No, that's a pretty good way of looking at it. David Wolfgang says, "What's the matter? CIA got you pushing too many pencils." Thank you, man. Roberto Prestigiacomo, sorry if I fucked up your name. So strange, like the movie in this chat compared to the millions of positive comments around. I can't understand those people. It's weird. It's such a fucking divisive film, this one.
Which
Like,
I would have thought this film could easily have slipped by. Jurassic World Dominion slipped by, but Prey is getting talked about extensively. It's like, what the fuck?
it's so weird. It really is. And it's weird for us in particular because we're kind of falling in the middle. Like, none of us really loved it or hated it. We're just like, yeah, it was kind of okay. It just had a lot of problems, but could have been worse. That's it. Ghost in the Craig says, "Cheers, drinker. Prey is the lib tier at Coachella." Fair enough.
All right.
Sorry, light beer. Sorry, I couldn't see it there. Vitrace says her flaw was that she didn't believe in herself enough because her brother told her she wasn't good enough to hunt the lion. It's kind of the same character arc as Captain Marvel. This one actually has to struggle a little bit, like at least in the early stages, trying to do things and failing a bit. But,
yeah, and she does plan, quote unquote, plan things out to benefit her. Like, this is the thing. I think the whole planting the mask was bullshit. But, like, these are elements of things she actually had to put in place ahead of time. Captain Marvel legitimately just gets told, like, you're amazing. And then she goes, I am amazing. And then is amazing. It's one of the most embarrassing bits of character writing I've ever seen.
Yeah. Nick S says, I personally hated Prey. Billy is the best Native American in the Predator franchise, period. Drinker, discuss the Dirty Harry movies. Also, Greyhounds are the best. I too, man. Shit, man, this weather's getting mental outside.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I may not make it through the stream.
I didn't even hear what you said, although it just lagged out.
Yeah, so he's basically saying Billy was the best Native American in the Predator franchise, period. I agree.
Yeah.
Discuss Dirty Harry, the movie, the movies. That would take a long time, so that's probably one for a review. And Greyhounds are apparently the best because he had two, and I now have two as well, and they are great. But yeah, I love Billy as a character. I thought he was awesome. I love how he's got that fatalistic view of his situation, and yeah, he's just the one who's constantly like, yeah, we're all gonna die.
You know what I really like about Billy and his relationship with everyone else is that whenever he's doing weird shit, instead of being like, oh, there's Billy doing weird shit, like, Dutch really respects it and is like, what are you sensing? What are you thinking? Because they've probably gone through a shit ton in whatever they've done previously. And it's so fucking cool that Billy picks up the Predator really early on. He's just like, something's weird, something's going on.
Yeah. I always love that line from him where he stops in the middle of the jungle, like, and everyone's waiting, and like Dutch is the one who like slowly approaches him, and he's like, what's wrong with you? And he just like looks up ahead, and he's like, there's something in the trees up ahead. It's just the way he says it is just so kind of chilling. I just think
absolutely, and it's so cool to put the Predator against competent people. Like, how would he? It's just not lucky people, competent people.
Karen McDonald says, trying to write a fascist Darth Vader character who turns out to be a good guy as his old lefty comrades framed him. How screwed am I for publishing? Probably very screwed, I would think. Vampires and cigarettes? Wait, what? So in the first, you get a bit of mud on you and you become freezing cold and invisible to thermal vision. These points don't hold up. No, I don't think you become cold. I think it's just the mud insulates your body heat. It just can't penetrate the mud.
It's not, it just doesn't show, the visor's not able to, the body doesn't come through the mud. I think that's what it's not supposed to, it doesn't make you freezing cold. That's not what the mud is doing.
Yeah, it just stops your body heat getting out, basically.
Being detected,
Duff McClintock says, what really annoyed me was all the opportunities that she had to kill the Predator in the back while it was just killing her friends, and she just ran away. This is very true. I'm sure the point where it kills her brother, she's got a loaded gun pointed at it, and she doesn't do anything with it. It's really weird.
There's 2 points there. I think she only gets her binds removed after it's mostly killed everybody in that first bout. But with the one with the brother, I think with the gun, she's just waiting for the best shot. I'm not sure. I couldn't remember if it was that or if it was whether she's choosing whether or not to shoot, because she'll know as soon as she does. That's it.
There's definitely a point where it's literally straight in front of her, like
Yeah.
no more than 6 feet away from her. She's got a clean shot, and she just doesn't pull the trigger for some reason.
I think at that point she's considering whether, because you might be saying before, right? But you know when the guy's her brother says he thinks I'm the threat, or it thinks I'm the threat.
Mm-hmm.
I assume that's him saying don't fire, like go regroup and kill it later, sort of thing. Bring it home. Because if you attack it now, it'll kill you. I think that's what he's trying to say. If I'm being generous to the movie.
James Moore says 2 people that she uses the magical flower on, they clearly show their arms crumple, bunch up for a little bit. I thought it would be the tension piece. She uses it and gets stuck in place while it activates. Nope.
No, she's able to tank it. She just, hey, she's pretty great, okay?
Yeah.
This review is disappointing. If you're going to establish to me this incredible fucking herb that can do that, but it has a drawback, and that is that you'll shiver and you'll be unable to do, normal tasks. Like, all right, fine. And then she takes it and she's fine. If not better off, you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. It doesn't. It's all just convenience, isn't it? It's just like that thing you said before. Is like if you're trying to reconcile these things, like with there's a cost to doing it, but it would fuck up your ability to have your big action scene at the end. It's like, nah, just don't worry about it. We'll do it anyway. Roberto Prestige Giacomo said, bitten, mauled, shot, stabbed repeatedly, impaled by a spear, amputations, fell for every trap. I'm sure prey refers to the predator this time. That's pretty much it, yeah.
A little bit, yeah. He's a bit of a punching bag in the movie.
Easy says, it doesn't make sense that in a tribe someone would aspire to hunt dangerous animals. Are you going to kill a lion every week for food? Hunting deer is a much more consistent strategy. That is very true. I think this is the sort of thing you only need to do once. It's like a ritual that makes you like a legit hunter because you can kill something dangerous.
It's I think the point is that you've proven that you're at the top of your game, that you can even kill the things that you're not going to be hunting typically, but could one day attack you. You're capable of even killing that.
David Wolfgang, what would have made it better if we knew the predator's pronouns? That's true. I want to know. Billy Banas says the Predator versus Millie Bobby Brown and there's a movie right there. Is Millie Bobby Brown got the superpowers of 11? In which case, I think she could just crumple it into a ball and kill it instantly.
Yeah, he's not got much chance at that point. She'll send him to the Upside Down.
Feels Before Reels says Predator 1 versus 1, an 800-pound bear murders a group of trappers, and the strongest male Comanche loses wants to hunt and doesn't scratch her. Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I think people are making the wrong argument with this. Look, if she launched a nuke at the Predator, she can kill it. The 90-pound lady did kill it at that point. It's more so the execution. They make her do insane things to kill it. Things that don't make any sense at all. I'm willing to watch a 90-pound idiot person do their best against the Predator and maybe even hurt it. But you're going to have to justify the fuck out of that. And it's difficult. Because, like out of the team in the original film, it's not like we're going to argue, because people often say like, oh, this entire team of elites, like they couldn't do it. And it's like, well, yeah, sure, but it's not even their guns that give them the answer, right? I've kind of made this joke before, but it's like, it's gravity that kills the Predator at the end of the day.
Yeah, true.
So, I want to move away from saying like it's ridiculous for us to believe a 90-pound lady can kill it. It's like it's ridiculous for us to believe what they show us in that movie. That's my problem with it.
Daniel Monroe says Predator versus Flash. Oh wait, that's the same thing. David Wolfgang says each character in the OG Predator had their own specialized skill set, which also creates character separation that makes them stick in your mind and builds on that with deeper personalities. Yeah, you knew who everyone was, and they did have their own unique way of approaching situations. They had their own sort of little cliques and relationships and stuff. It was great. Like, you knew who every character was really quickly.
It's so good that people even speculate whether or not the Predator killed them in a particular order. He goes for Hawkins first because he's their comms guy. It's like, is that why the Predator killed him first? Or was it because it was a convenient shot at the time? Or is it both? And then who goes down next? Blaine. It's like, is that because he's the heavy weapons? And this isn't necessarily true. I haven't got any quotes from anybody who made the movie, but at the same time, the movie's so fucking good that we can go, maybe.
Yeah. I love as well how there's a big gap there. Like, you get two of them get killed relatively early on, and then there's a long stretch where there's no further deaths, but there's just huge amounts of tension. And then that's when the group finally like fragments at the end. They all get picked off. But
yeah, because anyone could die at any point. You don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, like it never feels labored or slow at any point. And just such a tight script.
Mm-hmm.
Gail Mibson says, I love how Az cuts through it. Keep it up. Stay drunk, stay blue, never go NPC. Woo. Thanks, man. Guy Araya says, she's unlikable because her goal was fundamentally selfish. She doesn't want to be a hunter to help her tribe or family. She only cares about what she gains from it. This is kind of what we discussed with Fringy as well. It's like, how could you build on that? It's like, well, okay, give her a motivation for that motivation.
Yeah.
She wants to become a hunter. Okay, why? Is it linked to some previous trauma or some past event or what? Give us something.
Make it so that her father was so inspiring to her as a hunter that she always wanted to be like him or something.
Yeah, anything will do, really. You can work with it.
And I'm on board with using the element of she's been told she can't do it, and so she wishes to prove them wrong. But I never would have thought that they would maintain that to the big payoff of the movie, which is, haha, I did prove you all wrong. It's like, woman, things have happened, okay? Like, can you please get over that? Like, is that still really on your mind that the fucking tribes people told you couldn't hunt after everything you've seen?
OMG Puppy said the Comanche were almost all horse warriors compared to the Mongols. Check out Empire of the Summer Moon. The US Army couldn't deal with them until they got repeating rifles like the Winchester Comanche. Fair dues. I'll take your word on that one. Vitrace says, if you got rid of plot contrivances and misogyny from the movie, you'd have 20 minutes of fights, and that's about it. True. Jay Smart says, you can kill a bear with a bow and arrow if you aim behind the shoulder, but not with a headshot. The skull is far too thick. The predator is sportsmanlike. So for the trapper, he was entitled to finish his kill. I guess
that's a way to look at it. Yeah, sure.
I just don't know if he would recognize that that's a person that I wounded previously, because I don't think he could even see him at that point.
Oh, I thought they were talking about. Sorry, I'm mixing this up. I thought they were saying that the reason the predator left her alone was to allow the trappers their prize, which is the girl at that point. Or were you talking about the other Frenchman lost his leg?
Well, it's difficult to tell from the super chat. I don't know which one he's referring to. I just assumed he meant that the one that he kills that's lying on the ground that he'd injured previously. That he lost a leg, and she sort of gives him the herb and stuff, and then it's like
what I would say is it's going to be tough for him to remember that is exactly that guy. But at the same time, if someone is limping away with their leg chopped off from the fight that's just been going on, it is highly likely they were trying to kill me. If I'm the predator, I'd be like, and they're trying to get away. But I like I said, I'm satisfied with the idea that the guy screams at him, the predator looks down, can't even make out a person, and so he just reactively stabs. And
it's quite funny that that was what he did. Like, oh, what the fuck?
Well, whatever it is, it's shut up now.
Yeah. Great Reek says, hey, just saying, as a fan of this, I'm glad to finally catch one. You guys also have inspired me to get back into film criticism, so big thanks to you. Cheers, man. Good luck with it. 5 picoseconds says, my friend's only Alien or Predator film he'd seen prior to a month ago was when we watched Alien 1 together. And it was Alien versus Predator Requiem. So that was the only Alien or Predator film he'd seen.
That is the fucking worst thing to start an Alien or Predator person on. Holy shit.
On the plus side, though, it's all uphill from here, so
yeah,
could be good.
I don't even know what it would feel like to watch that. That's your first impression of Alien and Predator. You'd be like, this is strange.
Yeah, it's like, what's the hype around this? Andrew Schuster says her brother should have been the main character. I was fine with her being the main character. I just think you could have dealt with her a bit more smartly.
It's the problem. If they keep poorly executing it, it's going to make people start saying like they'll go from doing it as a joke to being really like, maybe women shouldn't be main characters. And be like, no, seriously, we can do it. It's just hard.
Yeah.
To be fair, it's hard to do any main character well. That's like the whole idea of how we create scales with crafts. If it was easy, everyone would do it.
Yeah.
Every film would be great, but that's not the case.
David Wolfgang says, "What about the heat? We're just throwing that out of the mythology now. What about hunting on the hottest days of the year? Is this guy just an off-season hunter without a license?"
So Decker actually brought that up. He was very frustrated that that was a reality for this film, and I didn't realize this. I didn't even clock it until we were like going through it really slowly. It snows at the end of the film.
Yeah, it's not like
So like, what the
warm
fuck's the predator
particularly.
doing here? Like, it's a very in stone that predators hunt during the hottest parts of the world at the hottest times. Like,
Yeah, they make
why
it
did
harder
they? I
for
guess they
themselves.
forgot about that, which is a weird thing to forget when you're apparently Predator fans. And I can believe they're Predator fans from this movie, but it's weird that you'd be like, oh, it's snowing. It's like, what?
This is the thing. It wouldn't have been hard to work this into the film to have the characters comment like, "Oh, we're going through an unusually hot period right now," or
Yeah.
something. Or you kind of associate Native Americans with like being out on the plains or in sort of desert conditions or whatever. It's like, well, that's perfect for this sort of thing. But they obviously wanted the forest and stuff, so you can have the predator leaping through the trees. And that's the only way they can make it work. And they just, I guess, said, "Fuck it, who cares?"
Is it alright if I go to the restroom quickly?
You can indeed. I'll just power through.
Are we
Uh,
how are we doing? Are we like
I
halfway,
think.
nearly there, or
Oh yeah, we're almost there.
all right? Well, I'll try to be
Probably
quick.
another like 15 minutes will do it.
Be right back.
All right. Rod Thunderheart says, "Hail Drinker, MauLer, Fringy, and Az and Disparu. I'm mixed on Prey. Native history does show women as strong or even more than men. Few films are reliable to the native history. Got job driving long haul truck. So buying your book. Thank you very much, man. I hope you enjoy it." And well, yeah, I mean, I can't speak to like the actual history of Native Americans because I wasn't there, but yeah, maybe that's the case. Like I understood that they were pretty, segmented in terms of their gender roles. So generally, the men would be the hunters and the warriors; the women would be tending the home. But maybe it was different for different tribes, I guess. Xian Hu says modern writers don't seem to understand that there's no bravery without fear, especially when presenting the message. Yeah, I said as much in my review. It's a character's ability to overcome their weaknesses and their fears is what makes them strong, not just doing things without fear. That just makes them stupid. Akins says Asperger's is the next level of human evolution. Average people wouldn't be able to make the advances Aspies have in all STEM fields. Autism isn't what you imagine it is, nor is your definition of evolution. I think so, yeah. Mike AC Mex says, "The Drinker, all hail. 1.32 million Mary Sue's, zero." Thanks, man. That Mary Sue article was legendary. Jerome Kershaw says, "I love Drinker, but he's making me cringe so hard on the stream. Watch the creators' tweets on their concepts behind this yacha." Well, I mean, all I can go on is like my assessment of the movie, man. Like, I don't know about the behind the scenes stuff. Maybe there's a lot more like thought that went into this or that doesn't get reflected in the movie. What can I say? Bogdan Anichescu says, "Would you consider a review of Enter the Dragon with Bruce Lee?" Yes, I would. Or even a happy hour. The movie is incredible. For 1973, it holds up perfectly. Yeah, Bruce Lee was just a fucking legend. Like, the physicality, the fight scenes, the choreography, everything he does in his films is incredible. Rod Thunderheart says, "Thank you for making my long drive back fun." Cheers, man. Matthew Valenti, "Over half of all DC comics are in the toilet. Superman's boyfriend can't sell books. I hope the Rippaverse becomes successful." I mean, it seems to be well on the way, man. Yeah, they're doing great, so long may it continue. The Mastian says, "Ezra Miller is fastest man alive to ruin his career." He is indeed. Just a nut job. Mass Hysteria Comics says, "Az looks like Mr. Freeze, but his helmet just broke." Soto says, "Drinker, just rewatched Captain America, Winter Soldier, and Civil War. Both good films with good choreographed fight scenes. God, the CGI in those films has not aged well at all." Well, it's kind of a tenet of Marvel movies at this point. Like, it's only getting worse, really, because they're getting stretched more and more thin. Jackson Lindgren says, "PvP Pocahontas versus Predator Frontier Feminism. I'm not buying an 18th century Comanche's ability to comprehend laser guns or the Predator's helmet and then use that against him." Howdy from Texas, by the way. Thanks, man. And yeah, I kind of agree on that one. Obviously, the laser guidance stuff makes perfect sense to us because we've seen it in plenty of movies and things. But like, yeah, for someone living back then, I don't know how they'd even rationalize it. I don't know if you're back, MauLer, or if you're just waiting. You're not. That's fine. Drunk 3 says, "Hail, drinker. Sorry I missed you in Tampa. I hope you return sooner rather than later." I will, man. And yeah, I'm sorry I missed you too. It was just bad timing. I think you guys were off at Anime Matsuri, so them's the breaks, I guess. But we'll try and get a meetup next time I'm in the States. Vitrace says, "Why can't you just lower your standards and consume like the rest of society? Eating a shit sandwich is better than starving." That's where we're at now. That's kind of what we got. Ethan Grimes says, "Just drove DoorDash 20 hours straight to make rent. Had enough left over to buy a bottle of brandy and tell you that I think Doom 2005 is a sweet movie." I'd have to disagree on the Doom thing, man. It was garbage, but yeah, it's like the entire movie was built around that little first person segment with the gun. But man, what a waste of the Doom license. Brennan Summers says, "Hail Drinker, would you consider doing a happy hour on Spaceballs, a film that is just fun and entertaining from start to finish? Cheers, Drinker." I would indeed, yeah. I think you'd have a lot of fun with Spaceballs. It's been probably like 15, 20 years since I've seen it. But I do remember finding it pretty funny at the time. Nick Harrigan Artwork says, "Hail Drinker, I'll be working on a Predator and Alien drawing soon. I'll try to hook you and MauLer up with prints when I have them. Have a drink on me, dude." Cheers, man. And yeah, looking forward to seeing those prints, man. Should be good. Luca L says, "Tolkien's world is heavily based on family trees and heritage. So basically the only sexuality which comes up is having kids." I mean, it makes sense, I guess, yeah. The Camberwell Carrot says, "Hey, folks, do you think they will try and wedge Smeagol and Deagle in as a gay mixed-race attractive couple leading up to the murder of Black Deagle?" Put it past them. David G says, "Ideological and political art often equals propaganda. To me, that's all this is. Extremely expensive corporate activist propaganda." Yeah, with a healthy dose of like cashing in on an established franchise. Christopher Mays says, "Reverse word of mouth is this channel. I won't go see something if the drinker says that it sucks." Well, thank you, man. I'm glad you got a bit of faith in me. I just try and call it like I see it, really. Casper Olsen says, "I went and saw Top Gun Maverick 7 times. It's not much, but it's honest work." It is indeed. And yeah, well done, man. That film is absolutely cleared up. Worthy is my name says, "I find it funny how Hollywood believes they think they know what's best for society." Yeah, when they're the absolute dregs of it. Joe Pineapple says, "Drinker, you shared the video first, I think. What do you think about Call Me Chattel coming on Friday Night Tights soon? He reached out to Nerdrotic and Gary is getting him on." Yeah, great stuff. And he's got a lot of good stuff to say, does Paul. And yeah, it's good to see him getting a bit more recognition and a bit more attention because, yeah, his rants are really good. And they're actually really articulate and pretty well thought out. So, yeah, I think he'd be good for Friday Night Tights.
Hello.
Hello, you have returned, sir.
I have.
Ian Soforth says, "How do I qualify as an activist? Do I need to take a course or does it just suddenly happen like show running a fantasy series?" I think you just have to identify as one, don't you? And that's it. You're there.
Probably, yeah.
The Renegade Bard says, "If a property fails, it is never admitted to be the fault of the creator. The drinker heard firsthand how that argument runs. The negative reviews are all false. So what do? They suppress them." Yeah, pretty much. I guess they can never really know they fucked up because it would be career suicide, really. It's happened on rare occasions, but yeah, not very often. The dude who did like Dark Fate, did he not come out recently to say that film was a massive mistake?
It wasn't even recent. I think it was soon after the film came out that he was like, "Sorry." Like, thanks, dude.
Well, at least he admitted it. I was just thinking there, actually, like, August just feels like a bit of a dead zone when it comes to movies. I feel like there's nothing really coming out that anyone's talking about.
Well, yeah.
I mean, what have we got? Like, is it Wakanda Forever? Is that the next thing, next product?
I can so not be able to keep track of that shit, man.
Yeah, the same. But yeah, it just feels like I don't know. It's been a fairly short blockbuster season this summer. Like, there's not really been a huge amount come out. Maybe I've just missed loads of stuff, but man, it just feels like there's not been that many films that people have really talked about much.
Yeah.
Jace says, will you review Euphoria? Probably not. New Craftsman says, I will not watch The Ring of Power. I will have the Friday Night Tights review of the premiere on in the background while I reread The Fellowship of the Ring. If you can actually listen to that and read at the same time, then you're doing better than I can.
Yeah,
I cannot
not bad.
multitask like that. The Master Nator says, how about a Predator movie like The Last Samurai? A space marine proves himself in front of the Predators after losing his squad. The Preds take him in and train him. That would be funny, actually. Yeah, do it. Malt Krug says, hey, Drinker, I'm always enjoying your open bar meetings and other vids and finally made it onto your Patreon pool. I'll drink one on you. Cheers. Well, thank you, man. And yeah, I'm going to be doing a Patreon-only live stream tomorrow night, so join us. Christian Vardal says, Drinker, I recently watched Big Trouble in Little China for the first time. Good on you, sir. Would you agree that Kim Cattrall is hot as hell in that movie? Yes, I would. She is pretty attractive. Buff Like Jesus says, Drinker, please give my brother's new books, Family of Fire, a huge shout out. It's set in the 1920s where mafia families have magic powers. That sounds amazing.
Okay.
Danny Noon says, Troy opening scene. Yes, that is a scene. Shake from the Hunger Team says, Drinker, I heard you met William Shatner finally. I did. I got to meet him at Tampa, and it was magical. It lasted for all of like 10 seconds, but it was glorious 10 seconds. Yeah, Shatner doesn't have time for small talk, I'll put it that way. Claudia Rogajan says, Davy Jones was supposed to have a Dutch accent, hence the name Flying Dutchman, but Bill couldn't do it, so he tried Welsh, and then they just went to Scottish. That's great.
Yeah, I don't know why, but that interview is like burned into my memory from when I saw it on like the BBC back when the movie came out. I just remember thinking like he was going to be Welsh, but then he wasn't.
Madden says, what are your guys' favorite John McTiernan films? I mean, you've got Die Hard, you've got Predator.
Yeah, they seem like the obvious answers.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. They're both pretty awesome films. Lloyd Buckley says The Fast Show was awesome. It really was, yeah. And Jesus DeVille gave you a thumbs up. Thank you. Thumbs up to you, man. And that was the last one. We made it.
Well.
And unlike most nights, we don't then have like loads of other ones that have come through. So check this out for efficiency. Yeah. It's probably good because I'm probably going to get struck by lightning soon. So it makes sense to end it while we can, while I'm still alive.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you guys for or future you for watching this. Hope you enjoy it. I hope we answered all your super chats, and I guess we'll catch up with you on the next open bar. So,
Toodle pip, cheerio.
Stay tuned until then.